Let's talk about objects. Not the mysterious kind floating through space, I mean JavaScript objects. Today, we're building a filterable profile list using objects, arrays, and the magic of key-value pairs. In JavaScript, objects are built using key-value pairs. Keys are like labels: name, age, job, and the values, that's your actual data. You can access these with dot notation or with bracket notation. They're both useful and we'll use both in today's project. Objects are flexible, seriously. You can add new properties anytime, or delete existing ones. You can even assign functions to them and create object methods. And if you want to loop through an object contents, you can use three main methods. If you want an array with the keys that you can iterate over, if you want an array with the values that you can iterate over, and if you want an array of arrays where each array of array has the key and the method. That's what .entries is for. Now, what if you want to store more complex info like a user's address with the street, city, and country? Just use nesting, which is basically objects inside objects. You can access nested data like this. And yes, you can nest as deep as you want. But if you go full inception, things can get messy. Keep it readable, keep it sane. Now for the fun part, let's build something. We're going to create a bunch of user profiles, each stored as an object. Then we'll render them as UI cards. Finally, we'll let users filter those cards by typing into a search bar. Once again, if you want, try to make this by yourself. Did you try it? Here's my version. We used some CSS for styling. This is not that important, you can style it like you want. But for the HTML, the main things we need is the input and the div where the cards will be rendered. We also add some more elements, but these are optional. Now, the JavaScript starts with an array of objects. Each object holds a user's info. We grab our input and card container. Now we need a function to turn these objects into UI. Here's the trick. We use Object.entries and map so we don't have to manually list out name, job, age, city. It just loops through every property and renders it dynamically. If we decide to add favorite emoji or coffee order later, the UI still works. Now the filtering logic. Whenever the user types into the input field, we check which names match and then render the cards again so that we can see the filtered list. That is why we set inner HTML equal to empty, so that it resets in each function call. Finally, render the full list when the page loads. You now have a filterable dynamic profile list, built entirely from objects and arrays. You created the data, you rendered the data, you filtered the data, all using objects, basics, and a little logic. Your challenge? Add a method to each user object called greet, and when you click a user card, it should log a greeting from that person using this.name. And if you're feeling brave, filter by job instead of name, or by city. Or add a drop-down and make it a full-blown people search app. Go wild! Today, we'll learn the power of objects, how to create them, access them, modify them, and use them to build actual things. You saw dot notation, bracket notation, object methods, and how entries can turn structure into display. You filtered arrays of objects, you built something useful. Now take this, add profile pictures, add delete buttons, add dark mode, or don't. But definitely subscribe if you want more JavaScript chaos, practical projects, and code that mostly works on the first try. I'll see you in the next dimension.